Borrowed trouble. My burrow was worried about me. I barreled through, though, bothered by my mother's calls, collected enough to connect. My burrow told me, Orange, you glad I'm not your mother? I bartered my way to a cigarette. Orange, you happy yet? A serious threat, a surfeit, a certain fate, a surer fret. But my burr believes in me yet. Tomorrow the red thread through rubble will rob me of rubber and bread. Tomorrow will read like a rebel. 14 ways. I was of two minds, 2 peaches on each limb, 2 sweet picks of a plum. I saw 2 kinds of birds in my tree, 2 round tweaks of wings, 2 flippant flutters of wrong. I too was free. In 2 broad sweeps, 2 met pats at a peak. Speaking of pathos, 2 pecks on a sweet cheek, 2 sweat peaks of snow like 2 puckered lips under teeth, or punctured and raw like 2 chaps licking each other's wounds to death. I was of 2 breaths in parallel directions. One liked the thrill of trilling birds, the other preferred the fur on each peach. I took a look at the facts and thought 2 arms were enough to hang on and strong enough to be hung. Woo! Yeah. Gender is body, and this is what it looks like on the page. Gender is body. So the creases want to flatten, and if the skin sags, colors quits, and if parallel desires skip a step, and if desire is a gender twist, and if we see creases deceased, and if we ceased and swam instead, and if skipping a step meant stitching a seam shut, and if we seem shut, we mean business, and if business is a gendered body, it screams, and if it screams, id is in, and if it knows its own folds but broke them, and if it's broken to begin with, which stitch, and if it misses, which of this makes me amiss, and if they do exist, which of them blows me kisses? Michael. To the would-be wounded taking to shore, I trust the would-be wounds and the bruises more. I trust the masses and their masks. I trust their coats, their arms, their airs, and all their ropes. I trust the raw hope in their purses. I trust bags left unattended more as jokes than I trust heroes. And the folks with folded blinds, I trust the least. I trust the time it takes to see them there and there to hear. I trust dogs in the face and cats asleep. I trust they go somewhere as nice to dream, and trusting takes a certain kind of care, and trusting tricks a certain kind of person into war, and trusting is as trusting does, that is, abandon and decay, disfigure and a bruise, but as I say, I trust the bruises more. It's called Good Form, and it's actually a VNL, if you remember, like from high school. But you'll see you'll catch the rhyme and repetition, whatever. It's actually based on a true story. Good form. My psychiatrist said I'm in denial. Fine, I led all these women into bed without a single lie. My psychiatrist said they're hardly affairs, that I read too much into the narrative of my life. Fine, I've led a pretty normal life. Wed the first girl I fucked online. My psychiatrist said we had a deal instead of a child. Fine, I led her on. Instead of love, I gave her lines. My psychiatrist said I'm fine, my life well led. Short one, the cost. What is the cost of a tear? A loss, a toss of the ring, a loss, a paper tear, a cloth, a loss, a care, a loss, a crossroads, a haunting, a host. A toast then to the thing I lost. It's also different to get applause after each poem. It's like so nice. Cicadas are coming. No, there's no. In a thin tin din, in a run-down row, on a done-up lane, they're coming to slather their slinky wings on a ragged branch of a tied-down tree. They're slithering in, all slippery and slow, like a nicked can of worms with a ladylike languish. They're coming to whisper sweet new nothings in eager ears of easy evenings. I'm a subtle lover, so I lavish the signs, the heavy hiss of a summer body. I love the lift of a tinsel hair on the sleeve of my love by a sneaky breeze. They'll lounge in air like I linger on porches. No real will, but the task of a dusk in a tense embrace. I trust their stutters. I trust their coming in secret lust. Chocolates. Soft like a tongue, but no less sharp for that. No less the man who bit my thin top lip and split. Done like a slab of beef and still a sickly slice of everything ever to bite a fool bitch twice. Sweet like a little treat, but no new tricks in the box, no new splits of the peel, no new twists of the lid, no new goes at the dish, no new cracks in the tiles, cold like a tongue, but no new pricks to pick in the pile. Okay, I have two more, one longer one and one to sort of conclude my time here. Thank you so much for listening to poetry. Like no one really does that anymore, actually. Hymn. This is like a benediction. You who scratched at the chance, a bass, a spasm in your heart, who pawed at many furs, who coughed and sneezed into your sleeve, who spared him his, and many men may hem and haw at you, who counted them. You who whispered at night to yourself and pleased with the light in your room retreated into it. You who worshipped form, antagonized it till it snapped, who performed ritual with string and salt, who bounced off bar walls wet with meat, who cured turns and turns of the blues with more blues, who dyed each page blue, piles and piles of them, who sprinkled into a sheet the deepest corners of you, the truest knowing of you to him, and many a man, and one who tended to you, then him again. You who never painted a panel, you who never even swept a tile of hair, who pocketed hair, who grayed watching hair, whined into a man. You loved him then, his eloquence, his elegance stirs. You who never loved a stock, you watched him fasten you to his shirts. You had him, you who never even had your father. You who twisted away from them, who writhed into your mother's wrath. You who grounded yourself to the earth, not knowing earth. You who ground yourself to a halt, not knowing its spin. You who grind your teeth at night, knowing now. You tilled the soil yourself before you suffer. Castles. I tied a string to the moon, called it a castle, called it a noose. By then it was noon and pale, called it marble, called him a muse. Went to sail away, called a canoe, a beautiful ship, pulled myself up by the rope, but then it broke, left myself with a bruise, a ruse. How curious. Thank you.